All right, Meatball, let it go. Leave it. Oh, the bloodhound dug that out of the snowbank last night. He started pawing at the snow in one little spot and one little and he found it under like 10 inches of snow, which was pretty impressive. Anyways, what do you think, buddy? What do you think? Huh? What? Come on. Oh, it's a good Roscoe. Well, I said I'd never buy one. A snowmobile, that is. Mainly because we don't ever get enough snow around here. This is probably the best winter we've had in probably 10 plus years. And we're actually scheduled to get some more snow. We probably got about 10, 12 inches on the ground now. And we're supposed to get another 1 to 3 tonight and a few more in the days coming. So, naturally, I hit Marketplace looking up for a snowmobile and I didn't find anything. So I ended up horse trading an old farmer buddy of mine that's had this thing sitting in his barn for a good 15 to 20 years, he estimates, without being touched. And we drug it out today, and he traded me 5 gallons of diesel fuel for this beautiful sled. So, what is it? It's an Arctic Cat 340. I believe it's a Cheetah. I'm not real familiar with them. It's a 1971. And YouTube has just been flooded with videos of snowmobiles lately. And that's because we got snow. All of us YouTubers up here in the north, or anywhere that gets snow, it's that time of year, so. But anyways, let's get this thing down off the truck and shove it into the garage here and see if we can't get this thing fired up. Oh, there goes the windshield. It was already busted. As you may have already noticed, she's a bit of a fixer-upper. She's a beaut, Clark. All right, so as I think I mentioned, it is a 1971. It's been sitting easily 15, 20 years, he says. And she's pretty rough all the way around, but not bad for 5 gallons of diesel fuel. Belt seems to be still flexible enough, usable. It's got plenty of baling wire on the exhaust, so you know it's not going anywhere. Windshield's a little busted up, and I definitely didn't help it any when I pulled it down off the truck. So, it had electric start, and the guy told me the guy that he got it from had jimmied something with it, and he never used it. I don't know. I haven't even tried it to see if it pulls over yet. I think it's moving. Oh, yeah. She's got compression. Carburetor here is looking pretty gunky, but it's a diaphragm pump type carburetor, so there's no like fuel bowl down here to take off and clean. So we might get really lucky and just be able to put some gas in this thing and fire it up. But if not, we're going to have to get a new diaphragm for this carburetor because I'm sure it's probably hardened up. I see a little bit of mouse house built up in here, so it'd probably be a good idea for us to pull off this engine housing cover and make sure there's no mouse nest built up on top of the engine so that it doesn't catch fire as soon as we do get it running. He had moved it before he told me to come get it, and yeah, that's what happened. So I can't tell for sure, but it almost seems like this whole piece down here was machined out of a casting and they turned a spindle down solid. So I'm not sure what we're gonna have to do there. Might be able to weld something, might not. Obviously the seat's in pretty rough shape, but she's got this sweet, sweet cheetah seat cover on there, so that's pretty happening. Well, here's the speedometer. It says we got 687 miles on the clock. Not sure I trust that. And she reads like she goes all the way to 100, but I'm gonna bet that this sled can't do it. Light switch, choke still moves. That's good. Throttle still moves. Kill switch is busted off. Dimmer switch and a brake, which also still moves, but it's kind of stiff. So yeah, the key, there is none. That's another issue. So we'll have to probably pop that out of there and bypass it if I can't find a key that just jams in there and works. Sometimes you get lucky. Well, I found one. Just realized there's a glove box here too. Let's check that out. Oh, nice. Nice, we got a nice big mouse house in there. Oh, that's lovely. Good spare, probably well-chewed drive belt. Lots of other goodies in here that I'm not going to rummage my fingers through at the moment. All right, time for a little sucky sucky. Time to evict the mice. Found the fossilized remains of about, I don't know, six or eight spark plugs here. Those are all scrappers, but one that's maybe savable here. Looks pretty clean. Does look like it was run a little bit, but probably just flooded out and they swapped it. Some more fossilized pliers, screwdrivers, plug wrench, we will keep that in there, and some electrical tape. Probably, oh, it's still good. This must be good stuff. Wow. That's some real good electrical tape. Definitely going to save that. This stuff here, well, we keep the straight screwdriver. That Phillips looks about useless. Yeah. The rest of that, garbage. We can go ahead and pull off this engine tin. That way we can make sure there's no mouse condominiums underneath here. At least I'm gonna try. Maybe. No, this ain't going good. Boy, those are on there. Whew. That's not good. Why would you use straight screws? Okay, it took some doing, but I was finally able to get all the screws out of this thing. Yeah. Not too bad. I mean, definitely good that we did it. Pretty crusty, but there's no, like, full big huge nest laying up here, which is what I was afraid of. Oh, that looks a lot better. I guess while we're here, we'll go ahead and pull these plugs out and see what they look like. Oh, not too bad. Looks pretty good. Yeah, this one's telling a little bit different story. It's been run a lot more. This plug's definitely a lot newer, but still not bad. It looks like it would run. While I have the plugs out, we'll go ahead and check for spark. Well, that right there might be the writing on the wall for us. Since this plug is newer, and this is also the side that doesn't appear to be firing, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they replaced this plug trying to get it to run on this cylinder, and it was actually the coil. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I can find other reasons for it not working. Coil wires definitely got a little bit of mouse damage, but not too bad. Not that would stop it from firing. So to be certain that thing isn't going to fire, and I don't think it is, I'll spray a little bit of ether in here with that plug wire off, and if it doesn't pop, we'll know. And then I'll add that other plug wire back in and try it, and we'll see what happens. Just as I suspected. Yep, fired right off that time. Oh, dang it. Well, our coil packs are both down here underneath the carburetor, and it's going to be a lot easier to get to those without that thing in the way. So I'll go ahead and pull this rock hard fuel line off of here. Maybe. Man, there, that's exactly how brittle it is. It just shattered. Pretty bad day when you got a fuel line kicking your butt. There we go. Shoo! The struggle is real today. That one just broke right off like a good boy. Right. A lot of you know that I'm not very good at electrical stuff. It's kind of my learning curve. This is the things I've been trying to improve on over the years here. But to test something like this against a known good coil, so what I've done, I'm ohming this out from the plug wire to the body of the coil, and I'm not sure if that's the way you're supposed to test it. But I'm getting a solid reading here. Well, it's building, which I don't know. But anyways, you can see it's kind of like around 17, 17.9, bounces around a bit, but it's in the teens, okay? Now if you move our lead over to the other plug wire, and we're going to be on the known good coil now. We know this one functions. Now we'll go ahead and do that same test against the known good coil and watch the meter. As you can see, it's holding real steady at 5.9, so obviously there's got to be a problem in that other coil. So I'm like 99% sure that other coil is bad. I guess we'll go ahead and pop that off there and see if we can't order up another one. I haven't even peeked in this fuel tank yet, but we need a way to get fuel to the engine, and that's usually what your fuel tank's for. Oh, it's not going to be good. Look how rusty that thing is. Oh, there's still fuel in it. You guys see that? Oh, man. That is not good. What a mess. Very rusty, very varnished. It smells good, though. I like that smell. A lot of people say they hate it, but I'm all about it. Okay. Oh, lovely. Oh, more mice damage. Alright, I got my little suction pump down in the tank here. Let's see what level of nasty we're working with. Oh yeah. That's beautiful, huh? You can just smell the minwax smell. Oh. There's a good bit in there. I don't think it would have run on this. What do you guys think? You guys know what would run on this? Slave Lake. If border restrictions weren't so tight, I'd love to bottle this up and ship it up to Peg. I am certain that old Slave Lake would be running on this thing. That is just the nicest stuff. Oh, I hope you guys can see in here. Wowzers. There is just a mountain of crap in the bottom of this tank. It's got to be like an inch or two thick. Wow. It's bad, guys. It's real bad. There, you can kind of see there. So, I'm not even going to attempt to clean that out right now. We need to make sure that this thing runs and moves first. So, I guess we'll go ahead and throw a temporary tank on it and see what happens. Well, guys, the old GoPro Hero 9 strikes again. I just realized I lost a bunch of footage. What you missed was me taking the carburetor apart, going through it. It wasn't very dirty, and then I put it in the cleaner to soak for a while. Alright, I've actually had this carburetor in here 24 hours, or thereabouts. Pull this thing out, clean it up best we can. Oof. So, normally I wouldn't even try to put this back together with what I have here. But like I said, I'm having difficulty finding the parts. And there's a big snowstorm coming, and it would be awesome to have a snowmobile when we get this big snowstorm. So, even if I find one at this point, it's not going to get here in time for me to do some sledding. So, I'm just going to go ahead and give it my best at cleaning this thing up and putting it back together. And probably won't work, but I can say I tried. But what if it does work? Alright, carburetor's all reassembled. It's not perfect because I couldn't replace all the seals and gaskets and stuff, but definitely looks a lot better than it did, and I think I found a couple things in there that would have been stopping us from getting fuel. So hopefully that takes care of it. Hopefully I don't hook gas up to it and it just start leaking gas everywhere, and hopefully this baby runs. Everything should be good to go. Let's go ahead and try this. Probably no point in connecting that wire because that coil's dead, but we'll do it anyway. Here's the hoping. That's not good. Also, I pulled the muffler off of it. Something fell down under it, so I just pulled it off, and it's got a bunch of cracks in it. So Might as well weld it up before I put that back together, but I'm not going to bother if the thing doesn't run. So it should be nice and loud is what I'm getting at. More choke, less choke. We'll go with less choke. Oh, heard a pop. Oh. Oh, we're close. Man, that's loud too. It runs. It almost sounded like that cylinder was kicking in too, which I'm interested in. Oh, it smells good. What happened? Oh, you quit running. Oh. Alright, I don't exactly remember where I left off with this thing. It's been about a week or two since I've messed with it, but I could not get this carburetor to work, so I went ahead and ordered a rebuild kit, which it took me a little bit of looking to find. This is a WDA-1, and everywhere I was looking online said fits WD carburetors, but not WDA-1, so the eBay listing said that this one fitted, so hopefully it does. Anyways, you've already seen me tear this thing apart once. I'll just go ahead and do a quick time lapse, slapping the new kit in here. So I got the carburetor all put back together there, but before I put it on, I went ahead and picked up a new coil for this thing, and it's going to be a lot easier to install without the carburetor in the way. So let's get that thrown on now. The coil is in. We've got a plug in there. Go ahead and make sure this thing fires. Oh yeah. Nice blue spark, and it even fired up there for a split second, which surprised the heck out of me since there's no carburetor. Must have been a little bit of residual gas laying down in the crankcase or something, but sweet. I got the muffler pulled off of this thing too. It's got a big crack in here. It goes clear from here, up and around, down into here, all the way over into the other side. It's only hanging on by a very small piece over here. So I hate welding on exhaust, but this thing doesn't feel too thin, so hopefully I can just put some hot snot on it and call it a day. Well, it's not pretty, but welding something like this never is. Oh, I missed a little hole there. I gotta fix that one yet, but it's turning out all right. Should hold. I don't understand how I got it out of here. A little bit of persuasion. Look at that. Okay, I got everything put back together here. Got a new coil put on here. The carburetor's been rebuilt now. Still got a temporary fuel tank rigged up here. And yeah, I'm really hoping we get a go. Oh, and I fixed the muffler. Fingers crossed here. I don't even know why that started because there wasn't even fuel on the lines yet. That was nuts, but really good. Oh boy. There's a tickle. Well, I pulled the plugs out to check them to see if we were getting too much fuel or not enough, and sure enough, they're both soaked. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and turn these jets in a little bit, needles rather, and I don't know that that's going to make much difference, but I can try. Okay, let's see if this thing will restart for us now. That's not looking good. Well, hot dang, she runs pretty good. Alright, now that she's all buttoned up, let's go take this thing for a rip, eh? It would appear that I waited on parts a bit too long, and all that white stuff's gone that we're supposed to ride this thing on. And I gotta admit, I knew it wasn't gonna move anyways. First of all, I still didn't fix this thing. That's a problem. Second of all, after I started working on it in the garage here, I started finding these white chunks all over the place, which if you don't know, I only know because of Vice Grip Garage, those are pieces of your track sprocket. That's what drives the belt underneath here that propels you through the snow. And there should be 2 of those, and what happens after they sit is they get really brittle, and that's why these things are just breaking apart. Those are supposed to be very strong plastic, but for some reason time does not do well to them. So if you guys know where to get some vintage Arctic Cat parts, you guys let me know. Or I'm also thinking this sled's pretty rough. I don't know that it's worth putting a lot of money into, because I did do a cursory look around the internet for sprockets to drive this thing, and the ones I found, they didn't quite look right, and they were also $80 a piece. So that's a good chunk of change on a sled that's not worth more than $200–300. I can pretty much find these things all day long on Facebook Marketplace for under $5, and that's in running, riding condition. So I'm thinking, you know, even if the sled's not worth saving, maybe we could do some sort of pretty cool repower project in the future with the old 340 tucked under the hood here. I was thinking like pretty intense go-kart, or maybe even more intense drift trike, something like that. Thought that would be pretty cool. So, like I said, if you know where to get some parts on the cheap, let me know down in the comments. And if you want to see me wedge this motor into something else, let me know down in the comments as well, and maybe we'll do that in the future. So anyways, guys, if you like tinkering in the garage, getting stuff running that hasn't run in quite a long time, or heavy equipment or engines of all shapes and sizes, if you like beautiful cheetah print seat covers, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button on this video. If you haven't already, you're probably going to want to subscribe so you don't miss any future content. But that's it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Later.